our time, they have wasted these children making sure that the classrooms do not have teachers, not well equipped. I can imagine how many schools, public schools, have labs at the moment. So as they tell us about things to do with all the promises they're giving, then we need to stand up and shout to them the same way Kenyans have now started shouting them down during their impromptu rallies, so that they can stop lying to us. Um, we still have children in Kenya studying under trees, and they think we are fools. Uh, so they expect us to just nod and clap while they rob the future of our children. Uh, so for education, we know very well that is the backbone of any nation. And the moment we start seeing it being eroded, then it's clear that this government wants to snap the education in half. And it's clear, we've seen it with the new funding model in campus. We're now seeing it being cascaded down to the troubles that are being exposed with the CBC. Up to now, we don't have teachers within CBC who have really gone back to know what the system is all about. But what we have in schools is teachers who are being told they're teaching CBC, but they're still stuck in the old 844 system. Not to say that the CBC was the most perfect example of an education system that we needed, because essentially, for those who remember, 9 years back, sort of say like 8 years back, it was sort of a forced down system on parents. They just came up one day, said that they wanted to start rolling out the program. Chose a few schools as a trial, and then boom, suddenly it was fully rolling out. But who has stopped to ask whether they're fulfilling the constitutional demands of providing a quality education for every child? So here we are, they're building castles in the air while our children are being left with broken dreams. It's very unforgivable, and I think for this and the attempted betrayal of the children, I think the regime is unforgivable in as much. We're talking about healthcare and Lina Mama. They keep on saying that it was meant to save lives and uphold the constitutional promise to healthcare. But every passing day, if people, all of us who have aging parents or also young children, and people who are prone to visiting hospitals more, you can almost see the forlorn in the faces of the people, because you find a person who has worked tirelessly for this country for more than 50, 60 years, they end up going to hospital and they cannot get treatment. Yeah? These questions need to be asked, and essentially Kenyans need to be scratching their heads, asking themselves whether we have a sane leadership in power. And I think based on this, it's time that also Kenyans started exploring in their minds whether, or to ask whether the person that we have at the helm is right-minded, because I don't see anyone who can be right-minded doing such things. So how much money has NHIF collected over the years? It's trillions. But here we have mothers dying while giving birth, and families being forced to sell off their parcels of land to pay medical bills. So where is the money? For me, I feel that the blood of Kenyans is on their hands. And if they cannot account for the money that was there in NHIF, then there is a need for some people to start stepping down and face the people's justice, because it's clear that they're steering this country the wrong way. The constitution is clear. Healthcare is a right, and it's not a privilege for anyone or for the wealthy. Second, lastly, I want to talk about the right to protest. We've seen all these statements being released at night, the latest one being at around 11, cautioning people against coming out in the streets tomorrow. And I'm asking myself, at what point did the Inspector General become the law himself? Because in his letter, one of his letters, he was demanding that people needed to seek permission to protest or to occupy parliament. What constitution does he use? I'm sure when he stood to swear him to get sworn in as the IG, he sworn in using the constitution, and we as Kenyans should not be the ones to allow him to dirty that constitution, because there's no way you can swear using the constitution of the people of Kenya, and then when you occupy that position of authority, you want to come up with your own laws. Yeah, the constitution does not envisage us seeking any permission from him or the president or from anyone else to protest. We don't need a gate pass to walk to the streets. Yeah, even if we're going to stand alone outside our house, we pray. We know that we pay our taxes for those streets that they want to occupy on our behalf. So tomorrow the police will be protesting alongside ourselves. But for me, what I'd want to say is to call upon Kenyans to be the ones to come out in large numbers and shame this regime. This regime must be shamed to the point where it quits, because I don't think there's anything else that's remaining for us to talk about it, because the only thing that is remaining is for Kenyans to be able to reclaim their country, because at the end of the day, it's our future and it's the future of our children. And collectively, it's sort of our whole dignity that we're talking about. If we're going to get to a place where we're going to break ourselves from the chains that the politicians have bestowed on us, including those of economic mismanagement and tribalism, then we have to ensure that Kenyans stop worshipping these leaders because they've failed us. And this, we have to speak through the culture of silence, because a huge majority of Kenyans are those ones who like remaining silent as corruption and injustices swallow our country. But for now, it's also to challenge them to also speak up. There's no one out there to fight for you. We are fighting for ourselves, and most of the people who will be coming out on the streets will be knowing what they are fighting for. And for me, is to just wish every one of us who will be on the streets the best. We remain in solidarity. We keep communicating, and we ensure that we don't leave those streets. We don't leave those streets until the voice of the people are heard. So for me, is to say that we have a huge battle cry in front of us. So they want us to wait patiently for change and to continue begging for the crumbs that they are giving us while they feast. But essentially, we have to tell them that we're done. We're done waiting. We're done begging them. And it's upon us as a people to make sure that we are united by our pain, our anger, but also our hope for a better Kenya. This is loud and clear, and we are coming to say that our country is ours, and what we're demanding for is justice, but also equality, and a Kenya where we can say that our constitution is working for us. We cannot let them make the constitution just a paper. Yeah. So let's not stop until we can bring this country back to its people again. Viva Kenyans, viva. This is our time. I think we just need to take back Kenya. There's just nothing else we're waiting for. And you are the ones we've been waiting for.
Yeah, thank you so much, comrade. Yeah, it's our time to restore this country back. And kwa huyo jamaa naye nafikiri alikuwa ametoka kulewa kidogo. Huyo umesema aje wa polisi ati anasema lazima watu waombe ruhusa. I think you need to be sober, because sisi atuendi tu pale, tunaenda because Ruto ametuita, because we are the nation, na akasema is having state of the nation address, and now we are the nation tunajipeleka pale. Sasa kama kuna mtu anafaa kuomba permission, basi ni Ruto aenda amuulize permission, but sisi we are the invitee. Sasa makosa yetu iko wapi? nakwambia not unless hayuko sober, not kama kuna kitu, if there is any substance ametumia, huyo anafaa achekiwe, but maybe alikuwa amechanganya kidogo, kesha atamka akiwa sober, he will come to reality. Sisi tumeitwa na Ruto, kasema he has a dress for us because we are the nation and they have a dress for us, so we are going. We don't know kama Ruto huwa anachukua permission kutoka kwa nani, whether ni kwa IG, whether ni kwa NIS, whether ni kwa nani, but we believe kwamba atakuwa amechukua hiyo permission. So kama hajachukua permission, they will sort out themselves ama wamshike. So kesho before watusumbue, waende wamshike Ruto, manake yeye ndio kiongozi wetu wa kesho, yeye ndiye ametuita tuende tumsikie. So kama yeye amebreach sheria kuwa ilikuwa lazima aitishe barua kwa chief ama kwa OCS, bas yeye ndiye anafaa kujibu hiyo. It is not us, and everyone should hold on to that. If any police ambao labda amechizika amevuta bangi, maanake atakuwa juu kazi yake akuulize unafanya nini, mwambie ni Ruto, yes, he has invited us, that he have address for us. Any question they should direct to him. So yes, I am just then tuende kwa Salome.
Yeah, Fabish, I just wanted to clarify something. Now we're having the State of the People address. I think our constitution is built on accountability, and the reason why the president is having to stand in parliament to speak on the state of the nation is because it's time for him to also to account, right? And I think we just have to also call ourselves to sort of hold him to account on what he should be speaking about. I know he's going to get into parliament and speak about so many non-essential things that are not necessarily what Kenyans or the constitution has envisaged him to speak about. But I just wanted to mention to Kenyans that Article 132(1)(c) of the constitution essentially requires the president to speak on, to do three things. One, to give a report in an address to the nation on all measures taken and the progress achieved in realization of the national values referred to in Article 10. And these national values are patriotism, national unity, sharing and devolution of power, the rule of law, democracy, and participation of the people. So this is all in Article 10. Number 2 is to publish in the Gazette the details of the measures and progress under subsection 1, the subparagraph 1, and 3, to submit a report for debate to the National Assembly on the progress made in fulfilling the international obligations of the Republic. So we can almost see or guess what this guy is going to be talking about, but these are the issues, especially on the national values and principles of governance. That is where we really, really need to pressure him, because I think he's failed on all of them. He's not achieved not even a half or a third of it. So
I'm just,
yeah.
There is nothing that you can compare. He has never achieved anything. So hatuwezi kusema ati have failed on this, he has achieved none. So yes, we are just going there tomorrow. Important is for us to be there. That is what is important. Important is for us to be there. Lazima tufike pale, tukamsikize. So whatever is going to happen tomorrow is sisi kufika pale kwenda kusikia State of the Nation address. Not unless a drunkard police officer should deny a citizen a right to audience from the leader. Not unless a police officer who is drunk ama mwenye amechoka na kazi, you want to be dismissed. Na ngoja nione huyo mwenye atanisimamisha kuniuliza ati naenda wapi, ndio niambie kama yeye ndio ni amejiandika, because hii si maandamano, hii tunaenda kusikiza na tunaenda kusikiza boss wao. Sasa kama wana any question, if they think that we should not be there, then they should tell the president to cancel the State of the Nation address and maybe atuite afanyie kwingine, maybe Kajiado ama Bungoma ama wapi, na tutaenda pia huko. So wasitusumbue kabisa huyu IG. Kama amekunywa busa yake, akunywe polepole. Salome, pole, ulikuwa umeinua mkono, tumekuweka.
Yeah. Greeting. I greet you all.
Yeah.
Whom are you going to listen? The butcher man. You're going to listen to the butcher man.
Yes.
Let me give you a quote. There is a quote that says, whenever you want to fix a small crack, you create a major one. Tomorrow is the D-Day, the second time to occupy parliament. Nothing new should be listened to that butcher man. Exactly time ile ameingia hapo, you are supposed to stop him to talk. Nothing he's supposed to tell us. That house must go down. Then he come to address us. That house was bleached on 25th 6, 2024. It lost its legitimacy. And anything going through there or anything proceeding inside there, it is out of law and misinterpreting the law. Wherever the parliament or the second big arm of the government is invaded, the members who enter in that parliament automatically they are breached. And even the president, who is that butcherman from Sogoi, was also impeached on that day. And the owner of that house are the Kenyan citizen. They get inside to their house and they take the big key, the access of that house from 25th 6, 2024. You should not forget this before he starts to don't let that man talk anything in that house. The power rests on people from 25th 6, 2024. You should follow the constitutional law of Kenya and abide in it and use it as a guidance in this great nation. Nobody will allow Ruto to do his petty moves to guide this great nation. Kwa hivyo kesho, hakuna mtu tunaenda kusikiza. Is the second time to occupy that illegitimate house. We want that house to go down. The National Assembly should go down with immediate effect, whether they like it or not. And we give him guidance. At this moment, according to our constitutional law of Kenya, the president doesn't have power to dissolve the National Assembly. The person who have that power is the Chief Justice, to give guidance to the president on how to dissolve the National Assembly. So tomorrow, there is no state of the nation. Tomorrow, the state of the nation should be how I will dissolve the National Assembly. That was our first command as Gen Zs and millennials. We want the National Assembly to go down, to pave the way, a good way of leadership, because hakuna kitu inaendeleanga hapo. Because wale majority leaders belong to Ruto. And that is the weapon which is Ruto using to punish citizens of Kenya. To amend anything he wants. To pass anything he wants. He has the numbers in the parliament. He has the numbers in the Senate. So we must tukwame hapo. Iende chini. So the first thing akianza hiyo of his stupid state of the nation, nothing like talking, dissolve the National Assembly. And those will be the priors. Watu wanaandika hizo posters, dissolve the National Assembly before saying anything. After dissolving it, then call us. We will come and talk. But nothing will go on in that house again. And even the president himself anajiita Ruto, anaingia kwa hiyo nyumba na anajua hiyo nyumba imekuwa invaded on 25th 6, 2020. Are you stupid? Come on. Hakuna kitu inaendelea hapo kesho. Hiyo saa 6 akiinuka na nyinyi mnainuka. Akiinuka na sisi tunainuka. Dissolve it, then call us. Lakini kwenda kumsikiza, tunasikiza nini? Uongo tena. Then nilisikia Karen Nyamu ana earn 1.2 million Kenyans. That is Senate. Tena, that is a nominee. Hajachaguliwa. 1.2 million. Normal mwananchi suffering day and night. Sukuma wheelbarrow. We are very stupid. Tuliambiwa bottom up. Tukapewa wheelbarrow. Wheelbarrow inatumia mafuta gani? Wheelbarrow inatumia petrol gani? Wheelbarrow inatumia your blood. Sukuma hiyo wheelbarrow mpaka ukufe. Na wao waendelee kufeast. Tukufe huku tukisukuma wheelbarrow. Sukumeni wheelbarrow wa Kenya wajinga. Nothing we are earning and nothing we are benefiting in this low government. So let not sleep in the cloud kama vile alisleep in the cloud. Kutukataza kwenda street, of which we are strategized now. Tunajua vile tutamuattack. So tomorrow, hakuna mambo yenye tusikize nani? Dissolve. Akiinuka to dissolve National Assembly. Nothing will go on. Hakuna distract that. Speech of the nation hiyo anasema distract kabisa mpaka atoke aende zake. We want that house to go down. The National Assembly must go down. Recall them. We put new MPs, wale wanaelewa mashida za wananchi wa kawaida. Angalia vile Wakenya wameteseka. Angalia mpaka saa hii churches they have asset themselves. Wamejisimamisha sasa, they don't want nonsense. Pia wao wanaunga hii Gen Z and millennium mkono. Na nilisikia akiwa threat. Anasema, stop accusing the government. You can be also a victim. That is a direct threat. Sisi hatufai kuongea. Our McClenchman Bishop, they are not supposed to talk. They are condemning about the judicial killing, bad policies, impunity, bad governance. Lakini walipoongea wakaambiwa wanaongea vibaya. Kwa hivyo Ruto anataka kuongoza hii nchi na kifua. Nothing. And let not our guard go down. Let's stand strong and high. And our guard will go down by the time we'll ascend the throne. Tukimtoa ule mtu, that is the time we'll pull down our guard. But this time, going there to kumsikiza, anaenda kuleta uongo ingine na akiwaekea trops zingine. Nothing like that. Akistand to dissolve the National Assembly, and the posters would be written, dissolve the National Assembly. It was invaded on 25th, 6th. It lost its legitimacy. Illegitimate on that day, 25th, 6th, 2024. Don't forget that. And the president, who is Ruto himself, and his MPs, and that is the whole cabinet, was impeached by the people. And who are the people? Kenyan citizen. Kwa hivyo msilale. Don't sleep. Don't let Ruto again take us a ride. Ameua ya kutosa. Ameua watoto wadogo. They are down 6 feet. Because of going to the street to fight for their right. Akawamaliza, akamwaga damu, akawa the second president to pour the blood again from 1982 in Kenya. It will not happen again. And will not allow Ruto to do those stupid moves, those weak moves anatumia. Hiyo weapon yake ndiyo tunataka. The only weapon Ruto which is using is numbers in parliament and numbers in Senate. Hana weapon ingine. Confidence imepotea kwa watu. Wakenya wote wamemjua, hata mtoto mdogo anajua Ruto si mtu mzuri, alitulia watu wetu. So, he is using those stupid niggers in parliament and in Senate. So there is no need of listening to that butcherman tomorrow when he stand up to address the criminals. Remember, mumkumbushe, he call us criminals. Dissolve the National Assembly. That is the song. Dissolve the National Assembly. Hakuna kusikiza. Don't listen to that man. That man is not a reader. He is a politician. I always told you daily basis, Ruto is a politician. He never think of the young generation or the coming generation. He think of the position and powers. And Ruto doesn't have something we call social capital. Nobody believe in Ruto leadership. He only have commercial capital. You give, I give. Ruto ni kama ule mwanaume anaendanga kutafuta mwanamke na pesa. If you don't have money, you don't get the woman. Ni kama mwanamke ule akona pesa na anataka mwanaume anampatia pesa. Those even in the government doesn't believe in Ruto leadership. So don't try to trick your mind, Kenyans. This is a big wave because we have churches, they are backing us back. Let's use this chance. Let's drain the swamp once and for all. No listening to a politician, no listening to a dictator, because Luto is a dictator. But he is trying to use those Moi moves to the long people, because Gen Z and millennium, they are not normal, they are spirits. Hakuna mtu anaweza mconvince Gen Z na millennium. We are focused. Sasa wacha na sisi tumfundishe. So tomorrow akiinuka na hiyo miguu yake miwili kusema shout, dissolve the National Assembly. Even the posters should be written, dissolve the National Assembly. That's all. Time ile watadissolve hiyo kitu, then we'll listen to them. Tutamsikiza. Lakini if he won't dissolve the National Assembly, there will be no peace in the country. We want to see the end of it, and we are not tired. Be blessed.